We've talked about how more and more Republicans have been opting to retire and not seek reelection rather than risk being taken out, maybe by a Democrat, maybe by a non-Trump affiliated Republican. And this is all as a result of the damage that Trump has done to the Republican Party. We've seen a number of Republicans say they're not going to run for reelection. This morning, we learned that this phenomena goes all the way to the very, very top because Republican Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, the third in command in the United States political hierarchy, is not running for reelection. And of course, Ryan is telling a very, very positive story, saying he's leaving Republicans in good hands. He's had 20 years. It's a good run. He wants to spend more time with his kids. But this is not like the beautiful riding into the sunset that Paul Ryan is trying to portray. And there is every indication here that there is major panic in the Republican Party. And the decision even surprised many Republicans that Paul Ryan wasn't going to be running for reelection. As soon as Paul Ryan announced, which was broken earlier today, Republican Congressman Dennis Ross of Florida also said he is going to be retiring. And Speaker of the House is just not a position you bail on if it appears that you've got sort of a clear sailing path to maintain it. And that doesn't mean that Paul Ryan's explanations aren't valid, right? I'm sure he wants to spend more time with his family. I think his daughter was like an early teenager when he became Speaker of the House. And, I totally get it, right? He wants to spend time with his family. He has been in there 20 years. But most people would decide to stick it out just a little bit longer if they have a clear opportunity to make it another couple of years in a position of such power. And it isn't even clear that Republicans are going to maintain the House at all, never mind Paul Ryan and his specific seat. And if they did maintain control of the House in the midterm election, would it be a productive context for such a beleaguered, to borrow a word from Trump, a beleaguered Speaker of the House in the sense that many Trumpists aren't loving what Paul Ryan has been doing? It's going to be a very interesting midterm. And actually, I don't know if you've been following the Iron Stash, Randy Bryce. Randy Bryce is a Democrat who's running against Paul Ryan in his district in Wisconsin. It was understandably sort of a long shot candidacy. Bryce was building momentum and he has growing name recognition within the district. But running now, rather than against Paul Ryan, running against or in an open seat election in Wisconsin is a very, very different scenario. And if you're in Wisconsin and you're thinking about getting involved in a race there, it would be an amazing victory to not only take out a Republican seat, but the one previously held by the Speaker of the House, the retiring Speaker of the House, and bring that back to Democratic control. So we'll be watching that particular race. I will also be watching sort of the ripple effect over the next 2 or 3 weeks of more Republicans saying, I want to be with family, or I want to move on to private law practice or become a lobbyist or whatever the case may be. I would predict in the next 2 to 4 weeks, you're going to see even more Republicans sort of put their finger in the wind and feel the direction that things are going and join Paul Ryan in this. And as I mentioned, Trumpists might not actually be upset that Paul Ryan isn't running for reelection because many of them see Ryan as a sort of non-Trump friendly force in the Republican Party. So I think many of them would actually cheer it. Send me your thoughts. What do you think that Paul Ryan's retirement, resignation, call it what you will, means about the 2018 midterm elections, and even more broadly, sort of about the future of the Trump presidency? I'm on Twitter at @DPakman, and the show is on Twitter at David Pakman Show. Today's episode of the David Pakman Show is made possible in part by Cody, which is an innovative new cryptocurrency and online payment platform that is setting out to revolutionize how we send and receive online payments, the same way that the transportation industry has been innovated by ride-sharing apps, the same way that music and video distribution have been revolutionized by real-time streaming. Cody says that the payment industry is ripe for transformation right now. Cody stands for Currency of the Internet, and they're setting out to make their cryptocurrency, which was designed specifically to be used for payments, that will be the first crypto, if they succeed, used on a widespread mainstream basis for online payments. This will be a payment system that can be used by anyone, whether you're a consumer or a business, and regardless of the industry that you're in. Most cryptos
fail to meet the everyday needs of average consumers or businesses. And many cryptocurrencies just weren't built with convenient and trustworthy payment as their sort of primary function. And this is the specific niche that Cody is trying to fill with the technology that they've created. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find out more about Cody and their ICO in the links below the video. This is not financial advice, and you should do all of your own research before making any investment decisions.